this is my first streaming. I am the Oracle Clyde, and I'm here to welcome you to my page, my channel. So I'm just going to take it easy. I'm just going to ease into this and see what happens. I've got my little tarot deck right here. Ooh, look at that, look at that, yeah. Oh, we're going to close that. I'm not quite ready. Not quite ready. So we're just going to ease into this, and we're going to maybe discuss a few things first. We've got some crazy things going on. Some crazy things going on in this world. And right now we got fires. We got fires burning up the whole West Coast. We got, what else do we got? We got crazy elections going on. We got, what else do we have? We got election shenanigans going on in Florida. Now, I don't think it's a real shenanigan. I think it's a manufactured shenanigan, because you got to know something about me. I do tend to be a bit progressive. That's right, I am liberal. Maybe you figured that out by the tarot cards. I don't know of very many Trump people that do tarot, and they may, but I like to do tarot. I'm a North Carolina boy, but I've been living in Atlanta. I'm not going to tell you exactly where. Let's just say I live in the greater Atlanta area. Okay? All right? Good. So that's pretty much all I'm going to tell you right now about where I live. But I've been doing tarot since I was a kid. I've been doing tarot since I was just a wee lad. So, 15. And right now I'm in my late 40s, but you don't need to really know about that. So, anyway, what I'm probably going to do is I'm just going to sort of ease on in and maybe, I don't know. I'm going to do my first reading. Probably we'll do an easy one. We'll do the Florida recount. How's that sound? Does that sound good? Okay. That's good. Okay. Well, all right. So let's see. How about, why don't we go ahead and switch? Okay. I'm going to just keep my dashboard up. Okay. And let's see. Sometimes I tend to just hum the Mentos theme. You ever do that? Just hum some crazy ass theme from your, hey, how you doing, Red Oak? What's up? Good to see you. Welcome to my inaugural channel. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and, let's see here. Let's go ahead and switch over. Now that I got somebody popping in, that's cool. All right. I'm doing pretty good. This is the first time. Just kind of easing into this Twitch thing. I play video games, but I wanted to just kind of ease in, sort of do some tarot card readings, that kind of thing, you know. I've been doing tarot for pretty much my whole life, and it's fun. It's a lot of fun. Whether you believe in it or not, doesn't really matter. It's just a lot of fun. The cards are beautiful. I got a nice deck right here. This is a new deck. My old deck, my wife sort of took, and she really gets into it too, and she's she's really into it. So I let her keep that deck a long time ago. I got me a brand new deck, and so I think I'm gonna go ahead and just sort of start. And thinking maybe why don't we just do, got any suggestions on what I should read? Maybe I was thinking something topical. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. Appreciate the follow. Okay. Why don't we start off with, we got something going on. It's probably easy to tell what will happen, but you know what? Yeah, I mean, as far as the cards, I'm doing my first reading right here online for you and anyone else that joins us. I've set up my OBS system to sort of help us out, and I've got some nice overlays, and you'll see. So how about this? I'm just going to let's just do a little reading. And what I like to do is I like to go ahead and just sort of thumb through the cards, go ahead and get them imprinted in my mind, that sort of thing, so that as I shuffle them and as I deal them out, my brain knows where every single one of these cards are. All right? And that way I can just trust that everything that comes through me and comes through my fingers, everything that comes out, my brain, because the brain is an amazing, amazing thing. It's the fastest computer there is. So, yep. All right. Almost done. And what we're going to need, I'm going to leave this one out because I think we're just going to ease in and we're just going to see what Oracle Clyde, the channel, is going to be like. So, I'm just going to do a reading about Oracle Clyde, myself, and this channel and this endeavor, and maybe get a little bit of insight into how it's going to go, how we can improve, how we can just sort of flow. And I'm just going to represent myself right there as the magician, new endeavor. Typically, when I do a reading about myself, I use this to represent myself. Let's move this over here. Okay. Now what I got to do. Yeah, I think I will. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll go ahead and add some fortune telling to tags. That's a good idea. That is a good idea. So, let's go ahead. I'm going to shuffle, then also. It's one, gonna shuffle 3 times. 3 being the divine number. If you're religiously inclined, it's the Trinity. I totally messed up that that shuffle. That's okay. Ooh, ooh, ah, ooh, ah. One more. And then, after I do this 3rd shuffle, cut it with my left hand because I like tradition. 3 times. All right. So, there we go. Okie dokie. Now, I like to do reversals. Just to let you know, I do the reversals. Some people don't. That's okay. No sweat. So, going to do the first one. And this one is the Emperor. So, all right, what we're going to do is, all right, and the Emperor is 4. There we go. I got a nice little overlay just to help people out. Okay, so this is position 1 because this covers you, all right? This is sort of like your current situation. What's going on in relation to the question, the querent, that kind of thing. So the influences. So this, since this covers me and I'm the querent, I am the nature, all right, of the question, we're going to say, thank you, I appreciate it. Put a lot of work into this. The Emperor, all right, he is the father figure, the authority. I am an older gentleman, that kind of thing. But, so that is exactly pretty standard, pretty, we're just going to go ahead and accept that, okay? This is what covers me, sort of represents the situation. Now this crosses me, and that is the devil. So I'm going to bring up, all right, and the devil, that's 15. All right, so now we got the devil. If you're religiously inclined, okay, the devil, of course. He is Christian, in Christian theology, of course. Beelzebub, that kind of dude. Lucifer, fallen angel. But actually, this guy right here, he's more of a, he's a beast. He's Satan. He's Satan, of course. He's the devil. But he also, in other religions, he's sort of the animalistic nature of mankind. Okay? And right here, all right, we got, I'll just hold it up. We got Eve, Adam and Eve, okay? Now, the thing about this card is they are chained, okay? They're chained to the devil. This is a card of bondage, okay? So with this card in this position, it crosses you. These are the obstacles, the challenges. Now, typically force, violence, effort. You're chained to your animalistic nature, but it also is sort of like a block. Typically, these are self-imposed because these chains that are around their necks are loose, which implies you can breaking your own chains. Sometimes they're chains of your own choosing, okay? Sometimes it means for you, your perspective, because tarot tells you, what does it try to say to you? What do you need to be or do to address the question or the querent of this whole reading? So if this crosses me and this is a challenge in order to get past to the next step, well, the devil tells me I need to break these chains of bondage. What are the things in my life that I need? Do I have doubt? Do I have certain habits that would prevent me from putting everything I need into this channel? Are there things in this channel? There are things in my life like, do I drink too much? I tend to drink. Sometimes, a lot, do I smoke too much weed? Do I eat too much? Do I do things that are just about vice and pleasure, which are cool? Don't get me wrong, they're cool. There ain't nothing wrong with a lot of these things. But to excess, when you become chained to them, they can prevent you from doing what you need to do. So maybe this is what this card is telling me to do. Okay, so now I got to keep that in mind. Now the next one, okay, this is above me. So, all right, above me, and that is the Six of Wands. Okay, There we go. Now, this one is reversed because normally, now the wands are a good suit for my, they're a good suit for my question, because they are, they're the element of fire. They're the suit of creativity, endeavors, projects. Perfect. This is exactly related to me. So, it said this is reversed. Now, what this position calls for, it is above me. It's sort of like, what do I want to happen? What am I looking to happen? What is the best that can be achieved? And what am I moving toward? What do I really want to happen? Now, normally, that's success, public recognition, triumph, all those good things. When it's reversed, disappointment, delay, maybe I'm really let down, like I'm really wanting to be welcomed with palm fronds, like, a celebration. Like when you walk into a party, like when you walk into a room, you're like, hey, and everyone's like, hey, Clyde. You want that. But sometimes you walk in and you're like, hey, and they're like, fuck you, asshole. They maybe you've disappointed them. Or maybe they just ignore you. Maybe they just don't even know who you are, and so this card being above me, the best resolution to the problem, does it say that maybe the best thing to happen is for me to fail? Not necessarily. Maybe it's trying to tell me something. Maybe it's something to be aware of, that this is a possibility. And if it happens, it's not necessarily the worst thing. Failure. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thank you. Failure is not always a bad thing. Okay? If you're going to fail, you're going to learn. You're going to learn from your failure. If you never fail, if you always succeed, awesome. Good for you. Some people succeed their entire life. Sometimes really awful, shitty people succeed, and they die very old people, and that sucks. But a lot of us, the majority of us, most people fail in their life. And when they succeed, it's all the better. So maybe I need to have some stumbling blocks. I don't know. We'll see. So, let's go to the next card. Okay, the next one. Okay. Now, this one right here is typically a bad card. Okay, that is the Ten of Swords. Now, this one is our foundation. Beneath me. Okay. And there we go. So, normally, it's a pretty bad card when you see it. When you look at it, you're like, holy hell. There's 10 swords in that dude's back. He's dead. Yeah, he's dead. It's typically a card of the sadness, grief, pain, all of that. But when it's reversed, typically a reversal card is a lesser degree, maybe an opposite energy sort of thing. You would think that the opposite of grief and sorrow is happiness, not necessarily. It may just be the absence of grief and sorrow. It sometimes is you have had grief and sorrow, and you have emerged from it. The worst is overcome. Okay, maybe that's happening as we speak. You're looking at your life. You've experienced grief and sorrow and pain, and you're examining it and dealing with it. Now, in this position right here, okay, in this position right here, this is sort of like who I am. It's the root of the situation, the querent, me, which I am the querent here. It's everything I bring to the table up until this point, okay? And it also represents my subconscious because it's underneath me. It's like my id and my ego and all of that. So yeah, I've had pain, I've had sorrow, I've been dealing with it both on a professional therapeutic level, both on a antidepressant level. Because hey, you know what? Sometimes we all need a little help, and I do. So that's what I bring to the table, and that's this Twitch and the tarot. That's my therapy, and I think a lot of people should use something like this as their therapy. It's good. It's good to meet and talk to people. So, all right, now let's go to the next one. This one is behind me. Okay. Interesting. Okay, so let's get rid of this one. This is the 5th position and the Tower. So let's bring that up. Now, this is upright. Now the Tower is kind of similar to this because this is what has just passed. And it can lead up to what we have, to the present. Okay, all right. Now, it means adversity. It means calamity and tragedy. Okay, ruin, deception. A lot of these things. You know, we've all had. I've had some personal issues in my life. Not gonna bare my complete soul here. Just yeah, you know, and fairly recent. So, I need to move these over a little bit here. Okay, there we go. So, anyway, that is pretty prescient. Prescient, good word. Look it up. Okay, sort of forward-looking. You know, very attuned to the situation. Almost like an oracle. Next card. This one is in front of me, the Knight of Swords. So, number 5, close number 5. All right, all right, there we go. And, oops, all right. There we go. Now, now this is in front of me. All right. So, with the Knight of Swords, this is my immediate future. Kind of look at this like a goalpost. Okay. Before the outcome happens, this is what's going to happen. This is my immediate future. Okay. Up until the present, and this is going to happen soon. You need to keep an eye out for this, okay? Typically, knights, they're action, okay? They represent action. So, and a sword is the element of air. It's an intellectual endeavor. It is sometimes legal, that kind of thing, judicial in nature, authority, that sort of thing. You know, the knight, of course, he's strength, bravery. He, as you can tell, this dude's running into battle, okay? He is running. He has got his sword up, and the clouds are going by, and the trees are moving, and he's like, yeah, charge! Very headstrong, okay? And The Knight of Swords, it tells me to move forward with determination and belief in myself. Okay, it tells me to believe in myself, believe in my abilities, and believe in my knowledge and my mental faculties. Sometimes a Knight of Swords can be a dick. You ever met a guy who he knows he's right, or she? They know they're right. They got no problem telling you that they're right, and they have no problem telling you that you are wrong. It can be annoying. People don't like that person. But they also know that person usually is right, and they're very capable. This card also kind of tells you, keep that in mind. Don't be that dick, People know you're good. You don't have to tell them that you're good. Sometimes you need a little bit of the suit of cups, which are more emotional based than the swords, to get people to follow you. Okay, so that's something that tells me. So now I got a final spread. This is the final four. Okay. Now, okay. Okay, so. All right. This next position right here, the King of Swords, represents the querent, the environment, me. So, we're going to do this. We're going to do King of. Okay. So, King of Swords. Okay. This is what I represent. It's also how I see myself. I see myself as an intellectual. Okay. I see myself as a sort of a know-it-all. But this guy, he stands for truth. He's an authority. I do want to be an authority, and I am judgmental. But if I try to judge people, I try to judge people knowing the flaws within myself. And judging someone is also to judge someone on a balance. Okay? To judge someone isn't to cast judgment on them. It is to weigh them. Okay? And that is how I see myself. So that is pretty accurate. I will say that. But subconsciously, I knew where all the cards were, and I could have chosen that card when I shuffled. What do you think it is? Is it the universe? Or is it all in my mind? Is it all here? So, anyway. The next card. Interesting. This is... Okay. So, we're going to do that. We're going to bring up here. And that is the Six of Swords. There we go. Six of Swords. Excellent. Okay, so this is the environment externally. How people see me, how they influence me. What do you think of me? What do my friends see me? How does the world see me? How am I in this entire world acted upon? Okay, now this card right here is a card of transition. Okay, you see these people? They're in a boat. We got a woman. We got a child. We got a dude. Could be wife, child. Could be family. They're on water. They're going maybe to this land. Okay, this is a sort of a not necessarily melancholy, but it's a somber card. Okay, and it means going someplace necessary, a transition in life, a change in life. sometimes can mean compassion and kindness. Yeah. It's certainly not a negative card, and they're not fleeing from anything to get away. They're taking a break from where they're living. They're going to a new place, and maybe they don't know. Maybe it's a necessary journey. That's what's happening to me. I'm making a lot of damn changes in my life. Making a lot of changes, and this is part of it. This right here, the Twitch, being the Twitch, doing the Twitchy thing, Twitch. I'm broadcasting my tarot and talking to people about things as sort of my new phase. I mean, I've got a crazy life. Before this, and this is the first time I've done something like this. I mean, full disclosure, I have a theater degree. I've done theater for years. I stopped a few years ago. I haven't done theater in several years. I'm also a programmer because theater doesn't pay dick. Okay? Not unless you become a famous playwright, you whatever, but a long time ago, I became a programmer back in the wee days when the World Wide Web was born. I was there at its birth. And I said, I'm going to learn you because that's going to pay the bills. And it does. It pays the bills quite nicely. So this, I've always had the tarot. Always been a Renaissance man. So anyway. This is how the world sees me right now. Moving on. So, this one right here. This card is the Knight of Pentacles. Okay. All right. There we go. Now, Pentacles are a suit of finance, personal wealth, your status in life, everything you've worked for, your career, but more along the lines of your trade and your home, what you've done to work. So, yeah. This one right here, these are my hopes and my fears. Hopes and my fears. Sorry, that's the hillbilly in me coming out. Right here, with the Knight of Pentacles. My hopes and fears, of course, are that I can focus my life to be more able to achieve the things that I want to achieve. I am the greatest procrastinator in the world, and as I get older, I find like a kitten, so with a ball of yarn, and it's difficult. And no matter how much with the weed or with the scotch or the bourbon, love my bourbon, no matter how much, or antidepressants, sometimes you get distracted, and next thing you know, you're dive bombing, going down a rabbit hole of YouTube, learning about everything from Dyson videos, Dyson vacuum cleaners, or Irish Ghostbusters, which that's a new thing. I never knew about Irish Ghostbusters, I assume, because Ireland's a fucking old country, so they gotta have their own little Ghostbuster groups, and they're no different from ours. They're just as lame, and next thing you know, it's 2 a.m. and you've just been refreshing your fucking Twitter feed. So anyway, it's what I want. Okay? I want to be more responsible and dependable with myself. So, here's the final card. The outcome could be good, could be bad. Look at that. That's wonderful. Okay. So, This one right here, let's go ahead and bring that up. Two of Cups. There we go. Now, Two of Cups. It's the lovers, okay, and the partners and relationships, all the good things, okay. It is a romantic card, but what it also has to do is with harmony and peace, a union and passion, connecting with the heart. I do love doing this, okay. So this is a good omen. It means this Twitch thing, this relationship we have, it's going to be good. It's going to be a good marriage. Okay? So let's kind of let's take stock here, because there's some good pairings here. Okay? I want you to just kind of take a look right here. This is the foundation. Okay? Grief and sorrow, but it's reversed. So you're coming out of grief and sorrow. You're coming out of a bad situation and you're reflecting upon it. That's my foundation, my subconscious. I'm coming from a bad event, a calamity, all right, that is behind me. So, yeah, these are pretty good. And these crossing and in front of me, okay, this and this, these are pairings also, because of hopes and dreams and fears, and these are my challenges, bondage, being chained down from my own vices and poor habits, my desire to overcome them and be a good person, studious and upright and responsible and successful. All right. Remember, the Knight tells you to do this. Okay. And this, of course, is telling me I need to put effort. So I'm going to do this every fucking night. Okay. And this is how I see myself, which is interesting because what covers me is the Emperor and the King of Swords, and they're very, very near to each other. Okay? This card, though, this is interesting. And this, what may come to happen, or the best resolution that can happen, and that is a disappointment. But that's what may come to happen. It's above me. Castle in the cloud. There is a castle on a cloud. Sorry, that's my musical theater coming out in me. So, all right. All in all, this is a good one. So I'm just going to change this. So yeah, as my first reading, I think that one's pretty good. I think that's done pretty well, So I'm quite happy, quite happy with how this turned out, and I think what I'm gonna do is what I need to do. I'm gonna take your. Yeah, thank you. I think it did come out nicely. I'm going to go ahead and add some tags. I'm on my dashboard right now. I'm going to take your advice. I'm going to add tarot. You know what? It doesn't let me add custom tags until I become an affiliate. So I got to get another like 7 or 8 hours of broadcasting and followers. Then when it lets me become affiliate, it lets me add custom tags. Right now, like tarot doesn't even come up, but fortune telling does. Awesome. So, okay, fortune telling. I've just added that, and good. All right. So, Ooh, that's pretty good. I'm going to pick these up. Now, if you have a question that you would like answered, you can certainly throw one out. Doesn't have to be about you. Could be about a friend, a family member, boyfriend, girlfriend, celebrity, political and entertainment in Hollywood, or international if I know them. Otherwise, I do have the internet right here. I can look them up. But I do take requests. So if you have any, no problem. Otherwise, I'm just going to probably choose another topic and see, see what's out there, because it is a crazy news. We got the California. Excellent. You're welcome. If you got a question, just bang it in there. And all right. So I think that's good. Okay. Well, bang it in there. I'm going to just do a quickie. You can do these little 3-card quickies. This one is, I'm just going to do a 3-card quickie on the Florida election, on whether Bill Nelson. Oh, okay, here we go. I think there's a spirit attached to me. Can you see if there's anything giving a sign? Okay. With the spirit attachment to you, you want to know, oh, you're in Florida. Oh, boy. I'm just a few hours from Florida, up here in Atlanta. So with this spirit attachment, do you want to know whether there truly is a spirit attached to you and what the nature of it is? Okay, if it's good or if it's bad. Okay, well, let's do that. Okay, so Red Oak. All right, so you are... What we're going to do is we're going to go through the cards. I'm going to pick a card for you. All right, you are looking in, basically you've got a question about a spirit attachment. All right, so let us go. Okay. All right, well, typically with spiritual questions, we either do cups or swords. Okay. Sometimes, I'm choosing a card that represents you for this reading. Okay. And since we're wanting to know about a spiritual attachment, I'm just going to leave a few out. Okay. That might be good choices to represent you. Okay. That one right there. Okay, so I think I do have a good card. If I can find it. All right. There we go. Okay. this is going to represent you. Okay. All right, so let me there we go. All right. We're going to do the moon. And the reason why I want to do the moon to represent you is you got a question, a duality about this attached spirit. Okay, the moon is a card of mystery. We've got the duality of the moon and the sun, illumination, the tower. Good. So this one with the scorpion, the subconscious, and the dogs. So it's a good one to sort of represent. Doesn't represent you fully. Represents you in the question. Okay, at this moment. So I am going to shuffle the cards while thinking about whether or not you have an attached spirit and whether it's good or it's bad. Okay, there's one. All right. And two. And three. Okie dokie. There we go. So, all right, we're going to cut. There we go. And there we go. All right. Ready. So let's do this. Okay, so we're going to flip the first card. All right. The Queen of Pentacles. So, and it is reversed. This covers you. All right. Let me get my... Okay, no problem. I'm glad that you are an open book. Okay. Now, this covers you. This is our current situation, okay? Now, the Queen of Pentacles, okay? Very generous, okay? Wiser. She's very maternal. She's about... she's not a homemaker, but she has her home, her domain. She is in control of it, her household, and she is she's well off, both materially and spiritually, that sort of thing. But reversed, we got some problems, some financial issues. That kind of thing. So perhaps some things need attending to going on right now. That this is the situation right now, that maybe there's some chaos in the home and the financial is sort of being threatened. Maybe the chaos is threatening. So the stability of the home. So that sort of covers you right now. That's sort of our current situation that we're dealing with, okay? And we'll get to the bottom of whether there's an attachment that's causing that, okay? This crosses you. So I flip it over, it is reversed, okay? So, all right, we got the Five of Wands. Let's... bring up our thing. There we go. Okay. And there typically is a lot of chaos in everyone's life. That's sort of why I'm doing this, to put a lasso around that chaos, wheel it in tie that doggy up. Okay, now, this crosses you, okay? These are the obstacles and challenges you've got to get past, okay, in order to really address the question at hand, okay? And normally this has to do with competition among peers, okay, and a pursuit of goals. It's not necessarily angry competition. It could be playful competition. It could be serious competition, but it's competition amongst your peers anyway, and it is a mature sort of thing. Now, when it's reversed, then this competition can be sort of it's rooted in strife, okay, and it also has to do when it's reversed. You do have some real disputes with each other. Okay, you're not just battling a coworker for a raise or a promotion. You're battling a coworker because maybe they are undermining you. Okay, if it's wands, it's typically a project, an endeavor, sort of kind of thing. So you're dealing with some deception in your life, and something that you're currently involved in. Okay, and that's the suit of fire. Sorry. Swords are air. So we'll keep this in mind. Okie dokie. So, all right. This is above you. Okay. That's okay. We're going to here, and that is the Nine of Swords. There we go. Okay. This is what you're moving toward. Okay. This is what hangs above you. And this is also what may come to pass. It's also what weighs upon you. And right now you've got some anxiety and you've got worry. So far, I do see you've got chaos and strife and deception. And it does. It does worry you. And this person, of course, as you can see, is waking up from a nightmare or is laying in bed because maybe they are unable to go to sleep because of the worry on their soul that's weighing them down, and they're overwhelmed. So that's something to keep in mind, that hangs above you. Okay, so here we go. We've got the King of Swords that is below you. So, all right. All right, here we go. King of Swords. Okay, so we got this. Seen this guy before. Intellectual authority. This is your foundation. Okay, this is the root of this situation. This could be a person in your life. Sometimes a king is either a father figure or spouse or boss, someone maybe you look up to, someone who's a leader, someone you respect. Also can represent yourself, but it does represent a foundation in your life of authority and truth. So that is can represent sort of in relationship to the question about the spirit attachment, whether it's good or bad. This is what you bring to the table, or what has been in your past. So we'll keep this in mind. Not knowing you personally, I can't attest to this, but you know. This and this card right here. Okay? So, as behind you, what has just happened. So we're going to get rid of this And all right, that is, there we go. Okay, so so far we've had a lot of swords. Okay, now this is behind you. This is what is past all the way up to now. Okay, transition. Okay, moving on, taking a break. So you have just moved from something. It doesn't have to be a physical move. It could be an emotional move. It could be a change in your life that you have done in order to better yourself, or to just move to a different stage in your life. Okay, you made a change, a journey, or you may have moved, and that is what you're coming from. Okay, event-wise, and that's something to keep in mind, and how this relates to what's going on. So, this is in front of you. Ooh, the High Priestess. Okay, so let's get rid of number 5. Let's bring up the 6th position. Okay. Now, the High Priestess. Now, she represents purity and spirituality. And this is something that sort of fits into the question here, which is a spiritual attachment. She represents the mind and the divine mystery, subconscious and knowledge, so that sort of thing. She's this is a temple setting, and she's got the Torah. It's slightly hidden, so it's got the divine mystery. And what she tells you, it's like a lot of times in the tarot, you're like, what is the card trying to tell me to be? Or tell me self-examination. Well, what she says is with purity and clarity, you will get illumination. And since this is in front of you, this is what is going to happen soon. Sort of like this, but this is, like I said, my goalpost, your illumination. Things that were hidden will be revealed. That is typically what the High Priestess is about. Now, it also could represent a person of impeccable moral character, or a person who's very grounded and someone you do look up to. But I think this has to do with illumination. That's just my personal opinion. Okay, don't mean dick, but I do what I can. Now, okay, so here we go. This is the final stretch, and then we'll kind of take a look at everything. All right, this is the star. So let's get rid of this position. Bring this up. Okay. Now, typically the star upright is hope and bright prospects, and everything's awesome, and you just dancing to that tune in your head. And like, I'm walking on sunshine. The star is a good omen. Now, when it's reversed, it's a little bit less than the hope and bright prospects. It's not that it's not going to happen. It's just that there's a little bit of arrogance behind that. There's a little bit of, I know things are going to be great. I know things are awesome. And that may be a little bit forced, okay? Because this represents the querent, which would be you, okay? So right now, it's a little bit of forced hope. Not that there's no hope or no reason to be hope, but what it tells you is that you may want to check yourself and get a little perspective because sometimes when you have unrealistic expectations in an endeavor and you fail for whatever reason, you can crash hard because you've convinced yourself of this righteous outcome. But if you go in with what is it, Clear Eyes, Full Heart, Friday Night Lights, whatever. I really didn't watch a show. That helps. So we're going to keep that in mind. Okay, so our next one is the environment. So how you are perceived by others. And that is the Wheel of Fortune. So, okay. Normally this is a card of good luck. Okay? And destiny and fortune, and it's been coming around, and it's finally your number is up in a good way. Woo! But when it's reversed, it's not your number. It's passed you by. Negative. That's sort of the environment, how people look upon you. Maybe people are looking upon you as unfortunate, someone who can't catch a break. Okay, because remember, this represents your environment, how others see you and how they affect you and they influence you. Doesn't mean you're going through bad luck. It means people may perceive you as unfortunate. Okay, and that could be wrong. I mean, can't judge a book by its cover, that kind of thing. But, people do see that. Maybe they perceive you as never catching a break, and that could drive you up the wall because you don't want to be pitied. I don't want your damn pity. I want your help. You can offer help. I can refuse it. But, just listen to me. Just listen to my problems, or I'm not asking you to fix them. Don't you hate that? You hate that when you just want to talk and then they offer help, or they get upset with you because they think you're imposing upon them. Sometimes you just want to talk. It's like, I'm not asking for you to solve my problems. Yeah. My brother does that. You will meet, we'll do a little walk, and he'll just explode with his problems and just unload them onto me. But I never offer to help him unless he specifically asks. We do that back and forth. We'll only ask for help when we unload our problems if we really want it. That's a courtesy to each other. We love each other. Because otherwise, our mother would do that. She would make her problem your problem. She'd call me up. She'd be like, hey, I got a problem. Can you solve it? No, I can't solve it. Well, why can't you solve it? What am I going to do now that my problem is your problem? It's now your fault. And I hate that shit. So, this card. Okay. This card is your hopes and your fears. That's funny. That's a card I got. Okay, so, all right, we're going to bring up, all right, that is the Six of Wands. Okay, so, your hopes and fears, disappointment, which is interesting because that's what that is too. Okay, delay, fall from grace. Basically, you don't get to do what you wanted to do. You don't get that hurrah. That is your hope and your fear. Okay? That's natural. That is natural. So, okay. Our final card, and then we're going to look at them all together. Okay? Okay. Here we go. So, let's bring up the position. And that is a 9 of Cups. Okay, so normally wish fulfilled. Contentment, success, and it's well deserved. But reversed, it doesn't mean you don't have those things. What it means is that the materialism. You are full of disappointment. Yeah, we are. Disappointment blows. This card, though, right here, means that the things that you have in your life, you're disaffected by them. You maybe they don't bring you the happiness that you thought they would. Maybe you've worked hard, and what you have to show for it doesn't. Okay, doesn't give you the fulfillment that you need. It could also mean that everything that you have in your life, you have an unhealthy attachment to from a materialistic point of view. So, for the outcome, as far as a spiritual attachment is concerned, you have some strife, okay? You have in your home, you have some chaos, okay? And some deception. You have come from a different situation into a new situation, okay? And you had stability. And with the illumination, I think what you were talking about is if you feel that you've got a spiritual attachment, you have a spiritual attachment of doubt and disappointment and chaos that does cause a lot of self-loathing. We all have this at some point in our lives. And that, like I said, is why I'm doing this myself for my own therapy. We've got a lot of reversals going on. So, your spiritual chaos that weighs on your soul, I see. But here's the thing. A lot of it, the chaos can bring you down. And almost like a Buddhist mentality, which is the chaos in your life results from how you react. The world is full of pain and disappointment. The world is full of hurt and horrible people. But as soon as you accept that exists in the world, you get to decide how you react to it. And when you finally realize that, you have true empowerment. Okay? You have the ability, it's like with this card, Illumination, true empowerment comes that as an adult, you have the ability to shrug off the chains that bind you. And you have ultimate freedom as the purveyor of your own destiny. Okay? And anyone in your environment, whether it be home, and these cards do indicate something at home, tries to weigh you down like a spiritual attachment, which can also manifest itself as codependency. Someone in your life making their problem your problem. And you become actually codependent upon them. That your happiness is dependent upon their attitude toward you, or that you feel that you are responsible for their happiness. And it becomes a two-way street. And you find that and sometimes you find that you have to rid yourself of that attachment, whether it be a spiritual attachment or a codependency that weighs you down, because no one has the right to dictate to you the terms of your happiness. No one has the right to dictate to you the terms of your success and your wants or desire. And that's the thing about the illumination of this, is that when you realize that, then you have one thing that does happen is that for a while you will be angry. You will be angry because you know that you would never do that to someone, that you would never look to a loved one to say, how dare you be happy and want to do this thing that I don't want you to do. You would never impose that on someone. Ever, 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 ever. So when you finally become empowered and you realize that you have been disrespected by everyone who would do that to you, you do become angry and you can lash out. Okay, and that's what some of this shows, is that the people around you don't welcome you. They see you as their own chains. They blame you. There's that codependency. Yeah, I mean, my mom is the same way my entire life. My brother and I call her a professional victim. And her and my father would let ill feelings fester based on a thing I would do. If I did something that made her angry or him angry, or if there was something I did that they disapproved of, that they would keep it until they could use it against me in a fight. My dad would keep it and use it as brownie points, as in, look at me, I am better than you because you did X, Y, and Z. At no point did he or my mom use it as a teaching point to say, hey, that thing you said or you did, I feel is wrong, unethical, immoral, or it hurt my feelings. Let's talk about that right now. Let's get it out. And they never did that. They actually made a conscious decision to withhold it, to use at a later time. That's right. There are a lot of moms are like that. And what that does is that puts chains upon you, because now you believe that their happiness is dependent upon your actions and your choices in your life. And so your spiritual attachment becomes, the spirit of doubt, of self-doubt. So yeah, that's something to consider. This card is about empowerment. Okay. And I think that's what you need to look at and think about that. So yeah. Okay, I'm reading your thing here. Well, that's not about your father. No problem. I mean, I got issues with my mom and my dad. My dad passed a few years ago. My mom's still with me, but I had to forgive my mother, who was a raging alcoholic and unmedicated bipolar. I love my mom. She taught me a lot of good moral lessons, and I didn't end up, being all stabby. But she's a very destructive person, a destructive personality. I had to forgive her. Okay. I mean, I had to forgive my mother so that I could stop using her as an excuse in my life for all the shit that went wrong. And yeah, I mean, my mom, she's had strokes from the alcohol. She's now going through mild cognitive impairment. She hasn't worked in 20 years. So, she is a professional victim. And I had to accept that because at some point I had to say, I am an adult. Any problems I have in my life are mine, not hers. And she ceased having power over my life 20 years ago because of that. She had massive power over my life. Anything that she would do for me as a mother became a chain. Well, that is one thing, is that it's okay to forgive. Being 19, you are starting to learn that the things in your life, it's very difficult at 19. Okay, at 19, I was living on my own in college with my brother. We never moved back at all. Yeah, I mean, it took me well into my mid 20s, mid to late 20s, for me to get to the point where I could say, you don't control my life. She didn't control it financially. You moved out when you were at 9. Did you live with someone else? Did you live with a family member or foster, if I could ask that? Well, that's unfortunate. Your dad did find you. Did you live with your dad from that then on, or? Similar to me. My mom and dad divorced when I was 5. I had 2 brothers. I went to live with my mom, and my 2 brothers went to live with my dad. And they grew up with my dad, and I grew up living with mom, and I only saw my dad on holidays, a few times a year tops. So I did not really know my dad until 5 years ago. 5 years ago. And he came to live with me because he was going through Parkinson's dementia, and I took care of him the last few years of his life. And that was the only time I knew my dad, but I didn't know him at all growing up. Yeah, I was in an accident too, but I was a New Year's Eve party, but I was the youngest, third child. So yeah, I didn't know my dad very well. Just, I love you, Dad. See you next Christmas kind of thing. And I talked to him on the phone, and we had a cordial, friendly relationship. But my I knew the kind of person my dad was, because I of my brothers, and my brothers are good people, but my mom was who I had to deal with. I was raised with my mom by my mom, and she was a very emotionally manipulative person, purposely emotionally manipulative, to not just get her way, but to affect change in my life, to inflict pain sometimes as a lesson, when your mom comes back into your life, um, is she intruding into your life? Is she asking to come into your life? Does she just burst in and just start changing things? I hate to see that your dad. Oh, no problem. Hey, you take your time. I'm here. I'm here. You know, and you don't have to explain everything. I mean, what I want to impart upon you is, um, there's some similarities between us with your mom and your dad. I understand. I just, with a mother that invades your life, creates chaos for selfish reasons, it causes a lot of anger. And I still get angry. Just because I forgave my mom doesn't mean she doesn't cause anger, and it's okay. I have to remember the Buddhist in me, which says, um, how do I react to this? Do I accept what the world is like and that there's pain and sorrow? Do I let it bring me down? I don't let it bring me down. I let it make me angry because I do not like her behavior sometimes. But perspective is something, you know. I'm going to bring these cards up. Thank you so much for letting me read you. I really appreciate that. Okay, thank you. So your mom's been in and out. It's natural to keep away. It's natural to build a wall around you. Just like in The Haunting of Hill House, which, if you haven't seen, fucking amazing. It's natural to build a wall against those that hurt you. And having a relationship with your mother, that's a value judgment that you'll have to make yourself. You really want to. Oh yeah, it's a great show. It's great. It's I've watched it twice. The whether or not you choose to have her in your life, that's a key. Is how much in your life do you let her become a part of? If she wants you to be a part of her life, she does have to step up. She has to. She has to make it a better effort. But until until that, that wall has to remain up in order for you to, for your own sanity, and that's okay. That is perfectly okay to do, as long as she knows that she doesn't have that right to kick down that wall whenever she wants. And that's the self-empowerment that we all long for. The realization that you don't need that permission for yourself. You know? And yes, Haunting of Hill House is fucking awesome. Trust is hard. You know, I mean, you know what to expect. It sounds like you know what to expect from your mom. Okay? You hope you get more from your peers. You hope you get, better from your friends, other family members. I got some dreadful people in my family. I love them all, but I don't talk to them very often. I see them at Thanksgiving. I don't hang out with them. I mean, some of them have joined the circus. Some of them have had their kids taken away from them. I mean, just deplorable, deplorable people. So, you can't choose your family. Okay? No, don't worry about it. I'm cool. I'm on serious antidepressants. I'm even. And that's one thing. Never be afraid. Never be afraid to talk to a shrink. And never be afraid of pharmacological solutions. I know clinical depression. I live clinical depression. My family has it. My wife. It is a real thing. So, it is a struggle. But I'm on Lexapro, and that's really good. And my sister-in-law is on stuff. It's clinical depression is a real physical thing. It's not something that you got to get to. You do have to get to the heart of it psychologically, but it is a real neurological condition. So no one should be afraid. You treat the brain just like you treat the heart and the liver and the kidney and everything else. Lexapro is good stuff. It really helps. I have bad days, sure. When I drink, sometimes it gets a little crazy. The interaction is woo, but we do what we all do. It could be a tough life. Going back to that thing you said about trust with other people and other friends, I found a good peer group to have made a big change in my life. I did a lot of theater. A lot of good people. Theater people crazy. Good parties. A lot of fun, free spirits. A lot of good hangouts and enjoying, and very accepting because there are a lot of freaks in theater, and a lot of broken people, and a lot of people like us that are looking for other people to help fix. My wife is an artist and attended SCAD, Savannah College of Art and Design. Artists are drawn to each other. We're drawn to each other because we all know we're broken. And hopefully, as a bunch of broken pieces, when we come together, we'll become one beautiful piece of art. So, yep. Let's see. One more. Okay. All right. Thank you. I appreciate it. You're awesome too. You're an awesome person. I'm so glad to have met you. And I am going to add you to my friend list. If I can figure out how to do that. Yes. Okay. Yay. There we go. Now, whenever I go live, you will know, and I'm going to be doing this a lot. It was a pleasure meeting you. You go. Have a great night, okay? No, I'm just still, I'm trying to figure this out, but you have an awesome night, okay? And I love you. You're awesome. Do 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 wah. Ooh ba boo boo. Do da do 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 do. All right. Do for. Okay. Just going to do a quick little 3 about the Bill Nelson, Florida recount against Governor Scott, that freaky ass alien. Past, present, future. Okay. Past, contemplation. This is the 4 of Cups. Looking at what's in front of them, not seeing what's being offered. Maybe just some dissatisfaction in life, but not necessarily bad dissatisfaction, but things could be better. And doesn't see that maybe things are being better. They just turn and look to the right. You know, so present. Page of Swords talks about they're typically a messenger, and B, a Page of Swords is B. Okay, so air is the element. Page of Swords is the beginning. Oh, you know what? That's right. It's a legal. Typically, these are legal disputes, and so something's blocked. We've got strife in a legal setting. You know, I need to see something about this. Hold on. That's right. He's a messenger, and the Page of Swords. There's a difficult situation. I'm just going to test your mettle. Okay. And reason, integrity, fortitude, honesty. That's what the Page of Swords is telling you to do. Now it's reversed. So you're dealing with dishonesty. You're dealing with deception. Okay, and confusion and ethics issues in the future. Knight of Cups, heartache. I don't think he's gonna get it. I don't think he's gonna win the recount. I think Mr. Nelson's probably gonna lose to the freaky alien alligator governor. So, sorry. That's okay. It was a blue wave. So, yeah. Anyway, that's pretty good. Hey, why don't we light a candle? I'm going to do one more big reading, and then I'm probably going to call it a night. Okay? And I've been doing this for about an hour and a half. And that's not bad for my first one. I'm down with that. Okay? So, the big one here is I'm going to read my own governor race. We got Brian Kemp and Stacey Abrams. Okay, I'm going to bring this up for a second. Okay. Brian Kemp is a douchebag. I'm sorry he is. He's our Secretary of State, or he just resigned because he thinks he won. But he spent the past so many years engineering some of the most incredibly divisive voter suppression techniques I've ever seen in my life. Just naked voter suppression things like secretly closing polls in heavily African American districts, but never closing polls in heavily white district. Purging. Now, people say, well, what's wrong with purging? If people have moved or they're dead? Yeah, sure, that's fine. But he's not doing that. He came up with a scheme. The scheme was if you didn't vote, then you, in the past couple of elections, you're purged. So now you're no longer registered. And then if you decide, I'm going to vote this time, and you go to vote and you're like, hey, you're not registered. Another thing was they would send out a card, and if you didn't answer in 30 days to validate your address, then you would get purged. No reason to do this, just, ways to get people off the rolls. But there are many, many, many ways. Never fixing our voting system. We're using 18-year-old machines with Windows 2000 that's not even officially supported from Microsoft, that hacking it is as easy as just sticking in a key fob, and in under a minute you've hacked the machine. It's a ludicrous machine. He refused to take money to fix any of it. And this is money that was already allocated by the federal government, and he refused to do it. Fought every step of the way. Real douchebag. Stacey Abrams, an awesome person. She has worked in our state house. She's law degree. She's a tough cookie. She's a smart person. She's very well liked, very intelligent, and she deserves to be our governor. So the question is, are we going to get a runoff? Because now we're finding all of these vote suppression. Now we've got all these ballots that we're finding in back rooms of mail rooms, and get absentee ballots that we're trying to force them to count. So if she's only a few thousand away from getting a runoff election, I want to know, is she going to win? Is she going to win? We've got to have her as our governor. So what I'm going to do, okay, so let's switch back. Okay, now, oh, that is a good card. That was right there. I'm going to go ahead and just choose that for her. Strength. Okay, mastery over our environment, level-headed, personal fortitude. She is all of that. overcome a lot of odds. So let's think about Stacy and the outcome, and let's shuffle 3 times for anyone who's watching me. Okay. That's 1, 2, and 3. Yes. Okay. Doing good. Okay. All right. Let's do it. Let's do this. Okay. Get her done. I hate that asshole. Okay. So this covers her. Okay. So let us bring up our overlays. Okay, it is the Page of Wands, and it is reversed. Okay, so setbacks. That's true. All right. This is, of course, the current situation. Wands, of course, endeavors, pursuits, that kind of thing. It's a messenger, tells you what's happening. So right now, this is a card reversed of setbacks. Typically, a page, he brings good news and enthusiasm, but when it's reversed, not so much. So, and that's true, because I wanted her to win, and right now she's fighting for everything. Now, this one, this crosses her, so justice. And we all know what that is, truth and justice in the American way. It's a positive legal outcome. That is definitely what's going on right now. Okay, because she is going through lots of legal maneuvers to get all these ballots counted. That this douche nozzle is really trying hard to keep them from being counted. So she can get past that. Then she's on her way. Not winning yet, but she has to get past that. Justice for Stacy. That's right, kids. Gotta have justice. Okay. This is above. Okay, that's a good card. Yummy, yum, yum. Okay, so. All right, the Magician. Now, this dude is all about the skill, the power through the will, self-confidence. Now, the Magician, you can see he's pointing to the earth, pointing to the sky with his wand. He's got it going on. He's got the balance. He's got the infinity symbol above him. He is got everything working through. And you see he's got his tools in front of him of all the suits. So he is a master of everything. He does represent power, wielding of power, and skill and diplomacy, which this would very well be in line with a governorship, that kind of thing. But as a governor, she does so much more than just rule. She can shape she can shape how Georgia and the nation goes. She has a lot of power as a governor. So that's cool. Okay. So that's this is above her. This is what she's aspiring to. A possible resolution, maybe the best resolution. That's what she's moving toward. Okay. Now. All right. So we got the Tower. This is the foundation. So, all right. 16. It's another major arcana. I've got lots of major arcana cards on here, okay? Foundation, misery, distress, adversity. When it's reversed, it's the same, but it's just a lesser degree. So not as bad as a calamity. Okay, which I can see that. I mean, she has come through adversity a lot through her life. And as much as everyone thought she was going to win, it was a big disappointment when she was behind. But this is her foundation, and that's what she's standing on. So, okay, so here we go. This is behind her. Okay, so we're going to, all right, 3 of Cups. And there we go. Now, cool. All right, now 3 of Cups is usually celebration, but when it's reversed, party's over. Okay. Stifling. So yeah, that's what she just came from. Okay, it was an immediate past. Says an affair. Could be, don't know much about her personal life. I'm not even going to do that. But should have been a celebration, and it wasn't. Okay? But this is what we're reading. We're going to figure it out. Okay? It would have been great to have a blowout. Okay. Okay. This is good. Maybe, don't know. This is in front of her. Okay. Okay. So, with the 6 of Swords, okay, she has a journey, a transition. Now, this could mean that she's going to be going to Washington, okay? But this typically is not the final outcome, okay? This could be that she is going to the next stage, a necessary stage, which would be a runoff. Or it could mean that she doesn't get the runoff at all, and she's forced to go to the next stage of her life, which, maybe it's not back to the Georgia House. Maybe it's to national politics, that kind of thing, So it could also mean that she takes a break. So maybe she doesn't win the runoff at all. Doesn't get to a runoff. She just has to take a break and do something else. We'll know in a second. Okay? So, this one right here. All right. This represents her. Okay. 9 of Pentacles. Nope, wait a minute. Shoot. That is the 9 of Cups. There we go. Okay. Now, the 9 of Cups, typically upright, it's fulfillment and contentment of your life, everything you've done. But when it's reversed, then there's dissatisfaction. Okay? Mistakes, smugness, materialism. So that's how she sees herself. That's interesting. So, she does have dissatisfaction. Maybe she feels she hasn't achieved enough. Okay? Maybe she's dissatisfied with her performance, and maybe she thought she's to blame. Could be. Maybe that's a form of arrogance too. Maybe it wasn't hers to have, and she thought it was. Fathy. Okay. This is how other people see her. Okay, so that is the Moon. All right, so that's hidden, danger, darkness, deception, dark forces. We don't know what's going on. People are looking at her. They're like, well, is she good? Is she bad? What's going to happen? Hidden enemies. This is her environment. She doesn't know who to trust. That kind of thing, and that's certainly that this is politics. This is some evil shit she has to go through. And maybe she's surrounded by deception, and that's something she has to make her way through. Like, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear. I'm not even gonna do Quentin Tarantino. Okay. Hopes and dreams. The Fool. Okay. The Fool is at the beginning of his journey. He has innocence. He has spontaneity. He's joie de vivre, full of life. You can see this dude's about to walk off the cliff. Okay. He's got his little knapsack like a friggin' Buster Keaton, Charlie Chaplin, hobo kind of thing, and doesn't even realize this jerk's about to step right off into some kind of gorge, and this dog is his subconscious going, "Hey, listen, listen, listen." Her hopes and fears, maybe she gets sent right back to where she was. But it could also mean that her hope and fear is to go to the governor, a whole new thing. It's a whole new world. She would be a babe in the woods there. You know? We're all the fool, the fool's journey. We all take the fool's journey. Some of us long for that. Some of us long for that day. So anyway, I need to see the outcome so I can kind of figure it all out. Okie dokie. So we got the Knight of Pentacles, and he is upright. So there we go. Knight of Pentacles. Now, Knight of Pentacles is is very trustworthy and methodical, and you see he's standing upright. You can depend on him to get the job done. I need to look at something here. Realistic, hardworking, cautious. Yeah, I mean that pretty much says. I'm looking at another interpretation. Cautious. You need to ask yourself: is this Knight's energy helping or hurting? Okay. Tremendous stamina and dedication. Interesting politics, and Trump, he always talks about stamina, which he has none, because he's a fool. Maybe she doesn't want to be him. So carefulness, studiousness, moving at a pace, gets the job done. Maybe it's time to slow down. Do you give up too soon? Dig in and refuse to quit. So yeah, okay. Here's the thing. I'm going to say that she is going to win, but it's going to be very, very, very difficult. She is surrounded by vipers. And the thing is that we got this and we got this. These are environmental in nature, okay? These two right here. And they both sort of portend the same thing. got disappointment. But this is a good omen. This is a good omen. And that is a very, very good omen. Okay. She does have some self-doubt, but a little bit on the arrogant side. But sometimes as a politician, you kind of have to be arrogant in order to win. That's sort of the name of the game. And the challenge, of course, is to win these things. So she wins these, and yeah, I think she's going to do it. I think she's going to do it, but she can't be too aggressive. She has to be studious and stubborn and hard working and push and slog through. Because a magician, force of will through the strength of his talents, achieves what his goal is. So yeah, that I think is my. I think that is the official Oracle Clyde prognostication of Stacey Abrams and whether she'll win. I think she will. And we'll talk about that when she does. So, I want to thank Red Oak for letting me be the first read on-demand tarot reading, not just one for myself, but for someone else. I appreciate that. I've done many, many readings over the years for people, for friends, for family, for strangers. Never done it online. This is kind of cool. I like doing it this way. And I think this is the start of a beautiful, beautiful thing. So, everyone, I want to thank you. I'm going to have to go to bed now. I do have to get up. I have to work. But anyway, good night.